and gentlemen, we're about to commence session 9. Could you please take your seats? Thank you.
One of the things I think we have learned is that we should all be very careful about making predictions about the future. But I know I can safely predict that this will be my last Apec summit. I just don't know who will be here next year. One of the things that both Vice President Gore and Governor Bush agreed on in this election is that the United States should continue its strong leadership for a more integrated global economy and for expanded trade. And as nearly as I could tell, there were virtually no disagreement on that, except that there were disagreements about the extent to which we also ought to push the Trade Plus agenda, if you will, that I've been talking about for the last several years. But on the question of leadership for trade, I think the world can rest easy because both our candidates made strong commitments to do that. The most important thing we can do, in short, we have a lot. In reality, the most successful countries were not those which started with the biggest advantages, but those that made the most of the advantages they had by opening their markets and ultimately their societies. That is why Apec has been a force for free markets.
经济全球化由于发达的国家的主导，使得各地区在全球发展中的地位和水平进一步出现差异。广大发展中国家面临许多新的挑战，发展更趋艰难，南北贫富的差距进一步扩大。这不仅不利于全球经济的健康发展，也不利于地区和世界的和平与稳定。虽然不是一个具有实际管理职能的经合组织工商界领导人的上海峰会，随着中国加入世界贸易组织，中国对外开放将进入一个新阶段。我们将致力于开展开放型的经济，进一步的加强与世界各国和地区的经济、贸易、技术合作，努力为促进世界经济，特别是亚太地区经济的发展做出贡献。
The President clearly indicated the great importance that he attaches to China's greater integration into the world economy, to globalization as a whole, and the value he places on China's participation in organizations like Apec and the World Trade Organization.
Bill Clinton, in a speech today, said that one of his objectives in being President of the United States was to tie America permanently to Asia in the period after the Cold War. And he thought that he's moved a long way to do that. This trip, in a sense, his last big trip to Asia, not only is, in a sense, the beginning of his relationship with Asia, because he brought all the APEC leaders together in 1993 in Seattle. 8 years later, he's closing another great wound in America's relation with Asia, and that's the trip to Vietnam.
Mr. President?
I think Mr. Putin is very honest.
I think Mr. Putin understands those problems much better than we do. But I understand that he wants to integrate Russia into the international economy in the same way China wants to integrate China into the international economy. And both Mr. Long's speech earlier today and Mr. Putin's speech just now, I think, are very refreshing. And they make the world a lot safer, and they make the world a lot more optimistic.